Hi, my name is Gio and I'm your guide today into Qvevri and Qvevri Wine Museum. So what is Qvevri or Qvevri wine? Let's start from the Qvevri first. Qvevri is a vessel made of clay where we Georgians have been making wine since 8,000 years. So this is the most traditional thing you will ever hear about, especially in the wine. On this display we have the traditional places in Georgia where the Qvevri makers were living. Usually these were the families with 2 or 3 members, and usually the Qvevri maker would have 1 or 2 students who would teach the Qvevri making technique and share with them his own tradition of making these clay vessels. Usually the Qvevri maker would pick different types of clay, and each Qvevri maker will have their own mixture of different type of clay from which the Qvevri is made. If we move over here, you can see the Qvevri maker himself making the Qvevri. It's very complex and hard labor because it's made without the pottery wheel, and the Qvevri maker needs a lot of experience and a lot of hard work. So the Qvevri is built from, let's say, 20 liters up to 5,000 liters capacity. And the Qvevri is built with the hands. This helps Qvevris to get dry just step by step, so the layers can be built upon them. And finally, we have the most important part, which is the firing process, where the clay pots Qvevris are put in the furniture built by the bricks, and the Qvevri makers use a natural wood fire to contain up to 900 to 1050 degrees Celsius to dry the Qvevris out fully. And this exact temperature makes the Qvevri that the winemakers appreciate afterwards for many years. Next step for the Qvevri maker would be preparing his Qvevris for waxing. This is used traditionally in Georgia to keep Qvevris hygiene. It's covered inside the Qvevri and is coated inside to keep the Qvevri clean. And afterwards, before one of the most important thing to do in our winery, we do coating outside of the Qvevri with a limestone and stones from the rivers, which is also very important in the afterwards life of Qvevri. And here we have the Qvevri, which is put under the ground, which has multiple reasons to do so. The one and the most important one is to keep our wines and the fermentation on a stable temperature, which is most significant part in the winemaking. Just to remind you, the Qvevri winemaking is 8,000 years old. Can you imagine that? And these photos just show the truth of my words and the tradition of making wine in the Qvevri 8,000 years ago in Georgia. And look at these people. It's 1914, and it's a family of Qvevri makers in Kakheti that are dedicated to their job. And as I said, they are layering and building the Qvevris themselves with the hands without any other tools to use. Sorry, it's a busy day here in Kakheti. It's harvest period and we need to keep our Qvevris clean with the old tools for the old type of vessels. another cool and ancient tool in Marani, in Qvevri winemaking, is of course Satznacheli, which is the press, traditional press for Georgians, made from the whole wood. And you can see my friends pressing the grapes and transferring the wine towards the Qvevri straight away for the fermentation. And now we can go down and see what's happening into the Qvevri exactly. And let's talk about the technology, why Qvevri winemaking is so fuzzy, why it's so trendy right now. Now we are underground in a place where usually Qvevris are put. So we can now see the underlife of the Qvevris, how they're going right now. And I want to really mention the specific stuff that is really, really important for the Qvevri, why this technology and the wines are so bombastic, so crazy and amazing. And like a lot of sommeliers are struggling and like having a lot of questions about these wines. And let me tell you guys what's the point here. So in the Qvevri, as you can see, we have the whole bunch of the grapes. So we press the whole bunches, and the whole bunch with its usually and traditionally with the stems, seeds and skins is going with the juice into the Qvevri. This makes these white or red wines really bombastic, very extract and really powerful wines. And not only the fermentation is running here, but also the maceration and sometimes also the aging, which is one of the most important aspects of this wine. And some believe that Qvevri has 3 times more potential for micro-oxidation than the oak, but it's, still a fact to prove. The Qvevri wine, you might know with 2 different names. Either it's orange or the amber. But we Georgians really don't like those names because, Qvevri is Qvevri, and amber and orange are really not doing the same job as Qvevri wine. And you can see why. Because we are making these 8,000 years and we've been doing this under the ground. Holy moly, I can feed and really feel a lot of space in here. Can I have the light? Hell yeah. A lot of space to work and clean. Easy peasy. Sakwan sapla suedzebdi. Vernacheda karguligo. Kulamos knili tirodi. Yeah, and I forgot to mention, we love singing. Georgians are crazy in love with the folklore, with the singing, and it was the part of Georgian winemaking for sure.
And beautiful girls too.
True indeed. And what's the tour without the wine? With a beautiful, juicy, amber, Qvevri Georgian white wine. So let's get into the wine straight away. So this was Qvevri and Qvevri Wine Museum, which is located in Kakheti, in Qvareli region, in Naprauli, which is owned by Twins Wine Cellar. And now, of course, we are getting into the wine straight away. This is what I love about Kakheti, about Georgia and Qvevri wine. Sipping the wine, having this beautiful view of vineyards and the mountain. And I promise you guys, these wines will bring all the emotions that I'm experiencing right now into your home, into your glass. Cheers.